Now, Washington Mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. At AM 630. WMAL.
8:37. Just want to say once again, we're going to take our show on the road tomorrow. The Swing State Road Show will be at the Virginian, 169 Glendon Street in Vienna. Broadcast begins at 5. Doors open for breakfast at 6. And Mary Catherine Ham will join me on the scene tomorrow. So come on out and see me and MK. We'd love to see you. We'll get you some bacon. We'll talk politics. We are pleased now to be joined by Andrew Marcus, who is the director of this film that's coming out called Hating Breitbart. Now, this is a story about Andrew Breitbart, who was a very colorful, in some quarters controversial figure, a happy warrior, who used new media in sort of innovative ways. He was very active in the early days of the Drudge Report, and then went on to do Breitbart.com, etc. And this movie is about him. Andrew, tell us a little bit about what the movie shows and how it came to be.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. The movie, we had a very intimate and interesting experience with Andrew Breitbart, following him around from basically about September of 2009, the launch of the Acorn story and the launch of BigGovernment.com, all the way up through Wienergate, the most perfect story in the world about Anthony Weiner accidentally texting a picture of his private parts out on Twitter. And you really get to see Andrew Breitbart from a behind-the-scenes look at some of the most well-known media battles over the past 2.5 years.
Do we get into his untimely passing? He was only 43 when he passed away.
Right. Well, the movie was basically finished. We were just, about 98% of the way through post-production when Andrew Breitbart passed. And the story is really not about his passing. It's about his fight. Now, we do deal with it at the very end of the film, but it's really, the film is not a retrospective, and it's not somber about the passing. It's about his fight, and it's about his life.
Andrew, how much of it had he seen before he passed away, and was he happy with it? Was he angry at parts? What did he think of it?
We showed him a courtesy screening of the film about 2 months before he passed away. And the version is pretty much the version that we're releasing. It was about 15 minutes longer. We still had a little bit of tightening to do. And he loved it. It was really amazing because he gave us free rein to do whatever we wanted. We really insisted that if we were going to come in and produce this story, that we couldn't be controlled by them, because that would really ruin the entire story.
So he never threw the cameras out of the room? He never said, you can't use this or that?
Never. No, he really didn't. We have shots of him. It's not partial nudity, but we had shots of him in his hotel room where he's putting his pants on, he's got his underwear on, he's ironing. It was no holds barred. It was really trying to show, who he was and what he was going through, as close to reality as you can possibly present. He did ask us to respect the privacy of his immediate family, his wife and children, which we fully understood, because frankly, when you turn on the television at night and you see your husband or the father of your children being accused of being a racist, on every channel across the country, it can become a little painful, and you might want to avoid having the media right in your face. And so I totally understood that. But that was pretty much it. He was an open book, and he was unafraid because the guy had nothing to hide. So he really let us in carte blanche.
So tell me about how this movie is being released. What we call this, a limited release?
Yes, that's right. We are opening in 4 markets. We're in Washington, D.C. We are in Dallas, Texas, St. Louis, and Los Angeles. And, it's much like 2016 did. You start small, you grow your audience, and you expand from there. If we have a really great big first weekend, we're going to be going wider, and it's already very exciting because we have, really excellent group sales. I hear that the pre-sales are going well, and so there's just a lot of great momentum. People are very hungry for this. Andrew Breitbart attracted a really big audience because he was a fighter, and people are attracted to strength. And I think people are really looking to this movie to try and tap into that again. And the feedback I'm getting is that it does.
Well, you know, the thing that I always admired about Andrew Breitbart, and I thought he was very controversial at times, but I admired the fact that he was such a happy warrior. I mean, he never got, ugly about it. He believed what he would believe, and he would have his conversation, and he was happy about it. Does that get captured in the movie?
I hope that it does. People tell me that it does. He really did. He would say, I have two modes, jocular and righteous indignation. And it's absolutely true. The guy was tireless on both of those. He was tireless for the fight, endless energy for the fight, and equally endless energy for fun. We would film, anybody who knows anything about production, after 12 hours, you're in overtime, and after 16 hours, you're in double overtime. Your crew becomes really, really expensive. We would shoot for 16 hours. It would be his fight. He'd go out for dinner. He would be hanging with friends, going out of town. Then we'd cut the crew. We were exhausted. We were trying to find our way back to the hotel room to get to bed, and this guy was
still at it. Yeah.
Going. Oh man, absolutely. He was boundless energy.
Well, I want to say that if you're interested, the premiere is tomorrow. In this area, it can be seen at the Regal Ballston Common, Stadium 12 at 671 North Glebe Road in Arlington, Virginia. That's the Regal Ballston Common, Stadium 12 on Glebe Road, North Glebe Road in Arlington, Virginia. Listen, we really appreciate it, Andrew. Thanks for coming by.
Good luck.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and hope that you do get it in wider distribution over time.